Your company is in the market for an SD-WAN or a SASE solution, but network availability is a huge deal to you. Your network has to be up and running all the time. So you're wondering, what are the best backup or failover solutions for an SD-WAN or SASE solution? Well, my name is Mike Smith. I'm the president of AeroCom. Let's put our heads together on this. First, if you'd like a shortcut though, and you'd like my recommendation on the best SD-WAN or SASE vendors your company should be quoting, which ones have the best failover solutions out there, send me an email, give me a call. I'd love to help you with it. I'm a broker for all the major vendors out there. I've been doing this for over 20 years, joined the thousands of other IT professionals who have used me to help them make a lot better decision in a fraction of the time. And it won't cost you anything. More information on that at the end of the video. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel so you don't miss any of my weekly videos that I put out. And go check out our website, aerocominc.com. You can browse SASE and SD-WAN vendors and read reviews on them. You can write reviews on them. You can filter vendors by features like redundancy, all kinds of cool stuff. So go check that out too. All right, what are the best redundancy options or failover options for an SD-WAN or SASE solution? Well, the first thing I want to get out right out of the gate is it is not to get a second SD-WAN solution. So sometimes I have customers come to me with that and they'll say like, hey, we were thinking about, similar to right now, maybe you have a dual MPLS architecture. Maybe you have one MPLS network as your primary and then you have a backup MPLS network. So you're thinking, hey, we're gonna move from MPLS over to SD-WAN. Maybe we should have two different diverse SD-WAN solutions. Well, that is not a good idea. That is not a good backup solution or redundancy solution. And let me tell you why. Number one, those two SD-WAN solutions are gonna have different features. So they're gonna be able to do different things. So failing from one to the other isn't gonna work very well. The second reason is because different SD-WAN and SASE vendors have different ways of prioritizing applications on their solution. So an example of that is some vendors will select an internet circuit. Say you have two internet circuits. Some vendors' solutions will send traffic over whichever circuit has the least amount of traffic on it, where other vendors will send certain applications over a certain internet circuit based on the performance it's seeing from that circuit. Like if that circuit's taking a high amount of packet loss or latency, it can send it on the other circuit. So different SD-WAN applications prioritize and configure the way you can prioritize apps differently. So it wouldn't make sense for you to be prioritizing and doing everything one way, and then all of a sudden you have to fail over this other solution that prioritizes completely differently, and it really becomes a mess of your network. And the third reason why it's not a good idea to have two different SD-WAN or SASE solutions, failover and primary, is different solutions have different security options. So the way you're setting up the security, what it's doing for security, where the security is located, whether it's on-prem, whether it's in the cloud, all kinds of different stuff, they're gonna have different security options. So when it comes to that SASE solution, it's gonna be a lot different. So it doesn't make sense for you to have two different SD-WAN solutions running as primary and backup or simultaneously, active-active. It just doesn't make sense. It's gonna make a total mess out of everything. So point is, not a good solution, not the way you wanna go. But what is the right way to go? The first idea is to get something called high availability with your SD-WAN or SASE solution. And what that is, it's simply backup appliances on site. Now you can do that as either a cold spare or a hot spare, meaning it's cold spare is active passive. It's ready to go, but it's not being used. Hot spare is it is active and it's ready to be used at any point. So that's something you can price out with an SD-WAN or SASE solution. It's called high availability. And obviously that's going to protect your network from appliance outages. The second type of redundancy you can have is multiple ISPs. So you can have multiple internet circuits from different ISPs. So that's going to protect you a little bit from the wide area network side. So if one ISP goes down or has an issue, you have a secondary ISP. And if you have that at every single site, that obviously provides you with a lot of redundancy, because the SD-WAN solution can run over each of those ISPs. I know what you're thinking now. You're thinking, okay, this is great, Mike. You've talked about backup hardware on site. You've talked about backup ISPs. We have all that in place. But what if the SD-WAN service provider's network goes down? What if the SD-WAN solution breaks from its core? Well, a good redundant solution for that is to have MPLS in place. So if your company today has MPLS, maybe you have dual MPLS networks like I mentioned before, maybe you want to keep one of those MPLS networks and have that as your backup. And in that case, you'd have to use an SD-WAN or SASE solution that allows you to plug in an MPLS network and use that as a redundant solution. So that's a way to bypass the SD-WAN network. If the SD-WAN network goes down, you have the MPLS solution as your backup. Similarly, you can also have a backup of an IPsec VPN. So if the SD-WAN network goes down, that appliance with the SD-WAN service provider can be configured to automatically start going into a failover mode of an IPsec VPN as your network instead of the SD-WAN network. So that's another way you can protect yourself from the SD-WAN cloud going down. And now I know what you might be thinking with that is you're thinking, hey, that sounds great, Mike, but what about if we have a SASE solution and all of our security is in the cloud inside the SASE solution, and the SASE solution goes down? And yeah, we're failing over to a VPN for networking, but all of our security was in the SD-WAN cloud. Well, in that case, what the service provider will do, what the SD-WAN solution will do, is it will fail over to a stateful firewall on the SD-WAN appliance. So you will still have a firewall in place for SD-WAN. So they've got you covered there as well. Okay, so that's my overview, my summary of different ways you can provide redundancy and backup to your SD-WAN or SASE solution. I hope that was helpful to you. But again, if you'd like my recommendation on the best SD-WAN or SASE solutions your company should be quoting, reach out, send me an email, give me a call. I'd love to help you. It's the reason why I do these videos. And I'm a broker for all the major vendors out there who do this. So, and I've been doing this for over 20 years. So if you call me and we talk a little bit and I get what your company's requirements are, I can narrow that field from dozens of vendors down to the best 2 or 3 that your company should be quoting. And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you which companies have the best reputations in the industry, which have the best pricing, which have the best features for what your company needs, all that good stuff. I will arrange a demo with you with that vendor for you. I'll introduce you to the best sales people you should be working with. I'll also oversee the quoting process and make sure you get way better pricing on that vendor than you would have ever gotten if you just called them directly. And the nice thing is, on top of all that, your company doesn't have to pay me anything. The service providers pay me my broker fee, so it's free to call me up and get my help with this stuff. So join the thousands of other IT departments who have used me over the years to help their company make a lot better decision in a fraction of the time and get a lot better pricing. Again, I love talking about this stuff. Send me an email, give me a call. I'd love to talk about your network, your company's options, and the best SD-WAN solutions your company should be quoting. All right, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel as well so you don't miss any of my weekly videos that I'm putting out. I do this every single week. Hey, leave me some comments down below. I try to respond to every single comment, ask me further questions, all kinds of good stuff, and go check out our website, aerocominc.com. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.